is Mike Buetow from the PCEA, and I'm here with Matt Leary with New Branch Design and Geoffrey Hazelett, Freedom CAD. We are broadcasting from the PCB East trade show floor, and our guest is Chris Banton, the VP of Marketing for EMA Design Automation. Chris, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, great to be here, guys.
What is EMA?
Yeah, so EMA is, we've been in the industry for over 30 years. Started out as a reseller for Cadence products and then have grown beyond that to offer our own software that kind of fit into the traditionally PCB design space, as well as services and basically anything a user needs to be able to design and print a circuit board is
software plus.
Software plus.
Anything new, exciting going on at EMA these days?
Yeah. So I think one of the things that's starting to drive more conversations is looking at how do customers not only just make sure the design works, how do you get the best version of your design? How do you optimize it? And we talk to customers. Do you do any optimization? The answer we usually get is they don't have time for it. I'm trying to get to the next design. It takes too long.
What do you mean by
So it could be any number of areas. One of the areas that we're kind of focusing in on is simulation. So say you have a key via structure, or you have a high-speed interface, and you want to see what can I do to make that the best version of that? Not only just say this is going to work in my parameters, but how do I optimize that to whatever requirements I might have in terms of layer count, whatever. So how do you do that? How do you have time to do that?
So signal integrity, power integrity, thermal.
What
about cost?
You could do the cost too. So that's more of a BOM optimization thing if you want to look at it at that level.
So optimability.
Yeah.
Did you just make that word up? Optimability? How do you spell that, Mike?
You spell it like it sounds.
So there's a product that we have through Cadence called Optimality. The idea behind it is, when you're trying to optimize, you're looking at a bunch of different parameters that you could pick from, and you're trying to meet some kind of requirements. And the challenge that we've had from our customers is you can do these sweeps, but they're usually, you can have like 1 million different potential configurations. And to brute force sweep those, then you're talking significant simulation times, right? So you just kind of look at it and go, I don't have time for that. And they pick the best one that works and move on. So what Optimality does is it allows you to do intelligent sweeping. So they have some machine learning algorithms that Cadence has built that allows you to kind of intelligently identify the right path to get to whatever your stated goals are. So one of the examples we have is a customer had a solution space that if you just brute forced it would be about 1 million. I mean, an engineer probably wouldn't just do 1 million. There's outliers, but it's still a lot. It was able to get to your goals in 86 simulations instead of 1 million, because it's able to help pinpoint the right places and identify areas that aren't tracking towards your goals. So I can skip all these, and I can focus it. And so what we see that doing is that takes 1 million simulations to 86. That takes a week of simulations to an hour. And so now, do you have an hour for an optimization, not a week? And so it really gives that time back to do those kinds of simulations that were, I would say, the technology was there, but it wasn't practical. So trying to make that a practical thing that we can bring into an engineer's design flow.
Join Rick Hartley, Susie Webb, Stephen Chavez, Chuck Corley, Karen Burnham, Thomas Chester, and Charlene McCauley as the electronics industry's leading experts gather at PCB West 2025. Coming September 30th to October 3rd to the Santa Clara, California Convention Center. PCB West features more than 125 hours of in-depth electronics engineering training spread over more than 50 sessions, including 30 brand new classes. Sponsored by the Printed Circuit Engineering Association, PCB West features classes for every level of experience, from novice to expert. Registration is open at PCBWest.com. Don't miss PCB West 2025. Engineering tomorrow's electronics.
So this is interesting to me because, of course, I've been familiar with EMA for years. And, you think about layout, placement, routing, libraries, okay, some supply chain management, BOM control, things like that. But you're getting into analysis and simulation, a whole nother world.
Yeah, and very customer-driven company, and that's just kind of where our customers are taking us to. we got to do all those things too. Those are all important, but being able to run simulations, test before they build, it's becoming more and more critical to make sure that product's going to work. And then now we're bringing the additional benefit of this isn't just the product that's going to work. It's potentially the best version of your product at the first try.
Is it important for EMA to be able to supply products that are under your own brand as opposed to distributing on behalf of others? Because traditionally you're a VAR.
Yeah.
So.
I think we look for what's the right solution for that customer's need. If it's something that already exists in the marketplace and we can help bring it to them, great. If it's something that doesn't exist and we can build it to help them, then we'll do that. And I think that's always been our mindset. I'm not looking to recreate the wheel just because we want to slap our name on it, but if it doesn't exist or there's a partnership or integration we can create to just make that engineer's life easier, then we'll do it.
This tool you're speaking about is a cadence tool.
Correct, yes.
And does it work exclusively with the cadence simulation tools, or could it potentially work with some other tools as well?
Currently, it works with the cadence Sigrity and Clarity, so all their SI, PI, EM, thermal suites. And I know Cadence is even looking at expanding that to some of the other simulation capabilities they have.
Okay. You use some examples, but it's very abstract. Can you give me a little bit more concrete? Because I'm not picturing how this works.
Yeah, so you're asking what's the workflow, or just an example of what a customer achieved from this, or?
I guess more what's the workflow. You kind of gave the broad strokes of it'll help optimize, but what's that mean?
Yeah, so typically you're with this, you're kind of picking a structure or an interface that's important to you.
So a DDR5.
Sure, yeah, you want to look at a byte lane or the whole thing, whatever. And then what you can do is basically set what are my goals? What am I trying to optimize for? Is this just trace length? Is this flight time? What is it? Whatever it is, the noise, whatever. And then you also can give it. Here are the things that we're allowed to change. Because not everything you can have sweeps that give you scenarios that are completely unrealistic. So you say these are the things that we can change, and it will go through and then run against the things that it can toggle. And this is where it uses some machine learning algorithms to try to do that intelligently and learn from each time it can make changes. So in the case of a DDR, even if it's looking at vias, it can adjust the via to see if those changes would impact it. It will then run that smart sweeping against that. So it's trying to meet these goals based on these are the things I can adjust, and then come back to here is the best configuration based on those two inputs.
That sounds very exciting. You're looking to talk to engineers that are in the simulation universe. Is that correct? That's who for this particular application. Is that fair?
Yeah. Because I think we always kind of pitch simulation or talk about it after something bad happens. My boards failed. Now we need to simulate. We really got burned by this one when it came back from prototype. We should have simulated. Whereas I think that's still very true. You want to simulate to prevent bad, but I think this opens up a whole new avenue of let's simulate to just make it better instead of just making it not work. What if we could make it that much order of magnitude better?
Awesome. How do people reach you if they're interested in this?
You can go to our website, www.ema-eda.com, and we have materials about this and the other simulation offerings. There's some case studies from customers there that they can check out so they can kind of see how companies are already leveraging this to kind of improve their process.
And you have a bunch of what I'd call very well-written handbooks on various aspects of design.
Yeah. So the teams put a lot of energy into kind of helping guide, especially for some of the common interfaces. So DDR, HDMI, MIPI, USB. There's free to download. They kind of walk you through the interface, the things you need to think about and look at when you're designing them, as well as some information about the software we have that can help you do that.
Great. Well, thanks, Chris. Enjoy the rest of this.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.